All right, good afternoon, or good morning, I guess still. I'm Nate Davis, Chief Operating Officer for ARIN. Going to give the software development update. I guess one question comes up is why is Nate Davis giving this, not Mark Costers or perhaps Andy Newton? It turns out that one of the roles I play is actually I'm a product owner for our Agile development process, and most of the external customer-facing applications I'm actually responsible for prioritizing and setting delivery dates on those. So hence I'm here to sort of present what those updates look like and to receive direct feedback from any of you that have feedback to provide me regarding the process. All right, so the topics I'm going to cover today are projects completed since the last ARIN meeting, some of the things that it looks like we're going to be working on in the next 6 months or so. Actually get added to this presentation when compared to the prior ones I've given at ARIN meetings. I'm actually going to give an update on the ARIN suggestion and consultation process and some of the activities there. I'll talk about what are the things that really influence the things that we work on from a software development perspective. And then lastly, just review with all of you what the strategic guidance is regarding our software or development activities that we've been provided by the board. So what we've worked on recently since the last ARIN meeting is improving some voter contact management. This is the ability not only for ARIN staff, but also the community to better manage their voting contact information so that we can reach you through mailings so that you're able to vote. And as a reminder, please vote now in the open election. We've also deployed SWIP-Easy. SWIP-Easy, if you recall, or if you don't know, is actually a solution for being able to capture reassignment information. And it's for organizations that maybe perhaps are not large enough to have an IT department to do scripting to do that through our APIs, but still have a fair number of SWIPs and therefore don't necessarily have an easy way to, or there's not necessarily an easy way to capture that information outside of scripting or programming. So this is SWIP-Easy was implemented to allow organizations that have a fair number of SWIPs to enter into the system to do that, but not necessarily programmatically. Since the depletion of IPv4, we've actually increased our transfer work, as everybody realizes. We spent the last 6 months completing automation of our 8.4 transfers. Many of you may have already seen that automation if you've gone into ARIN Online and submitted transfer requests for 8.4s. The functionality allows us to better manage transfers subject to 8.4 policy throughout the organization in a much better manner. And then lastly, we moved to a new office facility about 2 or 3 miles away from our prior location. So some of the forthcoming initiatives that we'll be working on, again, we'll continue working on our voting contact management, enabling staff as well as you to manage voter information. We're also going to do some work on web accessibility. We have some improvements that can be made both on our website, static site, and within ARIN Online, and we'll start to work on those within ARIN Online. Our goal is WCAG level A, level AA compliance on many of those pages, so I just wanted to mention that as sort of our goal, but we'll be doing that work. Next, we'll also be looking at opening up the result sets from queries from RDAP. So currently, right now, if you submit a query, you're limited to 255 responses. Through our OAuth server that we'll be implementing, you actually be able to receive an unlimited number of responses back to that. One of the things that John and I have been pressing hard on engineering to do in the last few years, and consistent with board guidance, is for the organization, for the engineering organization, to deliver customer suggested improvements and things that also come in through ACSPs or various other avenues. And the engineering team has been doing a great job on delivering on that in the past few years. But that's come at the expense that we have now some infrastructure that we need to upgrade. So we're going to be stepping back a little bit on some of our customer-facing improvements, not necessarily in total, but just a little bit, and actually implementing some infrastructure improvements. As an example, our development servers are actually no longer supported because we're working on older versions of software there. With regards to the ACSPs, since within the past 2 years, we've completed 19 ACSPs, and of course, ACSPs, the ARIN's consultation and suggestion process is where you, the community, actually submits to ARIN non-policy improvements to anything related to ARIN or its processes. And those can be small in scope, sometimes a day or two to implement, to large in scope, which is there still exist on the list of open things that we're still considering to implement. So we have completed 19 of those within the past 2 calendar years. Presently, we have 26 open, and of those, 22 require engineering work. And just to, as I said earlier, some of them are small in scope, some are much larger. A couple of them, often are very heavy as far as the lift and require a lot of work. We have 3 that are tied to the Internet Routing Registry project that I wanted to mention, and then to give you an idea of some of those that provide heavy lift in addition to the IRR work is also access restrictions for APIs. So there's a suggestion out there to actually provide better access control restrictions through APIs as one of the services we offer through REST. So what are the things that influence our projects? This is a laundry list, if you will, of some of the things that influence how we determine project priorities. We sort of mix it together in priority soup and then kind of pick it out as we can based on a number of influences. And the least of those is not the strategic guidance from the board as well. So we continue, the board has indicated to us, ARIN staff, to continue to review and enhance ARIN Online, including making significant user interface improvements per feedback. Automate ARIN Online functions that support the policy development process. So from time to time, we have policies that actually require some type of automation. Many of you have seen those in the staff assessments. We'll indicate in a staff assessment whether or not automation or engineering is required. And then lastly, we continue to focus on community-suggested, customer-facing, high-impact items that really benefit the community. And that's it. So, any questions?
Any questions for Nate on the software update?
Kevin Bloomberg, Nate, I'm really happy to be able to get up here and say thank you for all the work you guys are doing. It's quite a difference than 5 years ago where there was the frustration. There is no frustration today. I only have one question. In regards to the number of outages that are service impacting, specifically in regards to the RESTful API, does ARIN have a roadmap to be able to keep those types of services up in sort of a 5-9 scenario? Because designing a system to do live API calls is very easy. Doing something that then does a store and forward because of continual outages is a significantly harder development process for the other side.
That's an excellent question. And I see Mark Costers creeping behind you in a very Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton kind of way. Mark, you want to take that one?
Let me make, I'm Mark Costers, and let me have just a few words about my very, very good friend here from the wire. So seriously, what ARIN has this one issue, and that a lot of times when we do software updates, we have to do some database work, and that is right now when we do the database work, we need to bring down all the applications. That's something that we are trying to move beyond. We're not there yet, where we can continue to do a sort of an incremental sort of update across the fleet, but we're not there yet. So this is something that we are looking forward to doing, but it's going to take some time.
All right, thank you, Mark. Any other questions? Wonderful. Thank you, everybody.